Hi everyone, it's Christy Funk from ChristyFunk.com. Sorry for the picture, but the lighting is a little bit off today. You are in my studio, my makeshift studio, that is my favorite place to be any time of the day. And these are all of my newest pieces that I've just gotten and I'm going to create. I've got all my beads lined up. Everything's really hyper organized because otherwise I can't create. I've got my calendar there. So I'm constantly working between this and my radical self-love work, which I'm doing writing, blog posts, creating some events. But this is really where I find it's my oasis. And I just wanted to explain a little bit what goes into being a jewelry designer or any type of creative person. So many times we look at somebody and say, oh gosh, I can do that. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go get some beads or I'm going to go get some yarn and I'm going to make a business out of that. And I used to get that all the time when I had my store at Belly Sprout. And people constantly asking me too now with the beads, well, how long does it take? Well, you can't really put a time on art. These are gifts that people have that God has given us, that we have this instinctual, just this knowing. Just like a painter or a writer, a musician, they just have this talent and this potential of creative genius that was given to us well before we even knew that it was possible. So I take on my jewelry work just as I would anything that I do creatively that I feel passionate about. I would love to be a singer or a musician. I can't. I've played piano, I've sang before, but it's just not me. And so when I watch my friends that are musicians, I'm just in awe and I want to allow them and honor them in that space. When I do this, the time that goes into it is not just the designing of it, it's the time that it takes for me to gather my resources. And so when you pay for a Chakiras piece, you are getting high quality gemstones, unique pendants, and my own creative design, but you're also paying for the time that it takes for me to gather these resources. When I go to these gem fairs, when I go, it's at least a 5 hour process, and I walk out with a small bag. And in that small bag, I know exactly the color palettes that I'm picking, and I know how to pick these pendants that people are going to go crazy for because I have an eye for it. And so when you are supporting an artist and you love their work, you're supporting the whole process. It's not just the finished product. And it's so overwhelming when I go to the gem fairs. I remember this from 13 years ago because I would go spend a couple $1,000s, come out with just these small bags. And it's so overwhelming. It's like, how am I supposed to pick, 20 strands of these beads or this pendant? How am I supposed to pick from the millions of things here? And I'm a hypersensitive person and very like I'm an empath, so I'm carrying like constantly warding off other people's energy, and I come out and I'm usually wiped out the next day. So when I do this, I have to because I have to get out there and the I have to constantly up my game. So as I'm creating, I'm taking, say, like a pendant like this and looking at it and just getting this feeling of like, oh my gosh, it's going to look amazing with just clear crystal and some white strands. But it goes beyond that because then I have to feel out the piece. How am I going to lay the beads together? How am I going to design it? And I'm very intentional with every piece. So every piece that I do, the layout has to be seamless. It has to flow. It has to have harmony. And nobody could do that but me. People can do it in their own way, but the way I do it, it's what makes Chakiras Chakiras. And so I've been known to create a piece and rip it apart because it doesn't flow. And it could be something as minute as the wrong shape of a bead. And I can't stand it. I can't look at it. If I won't wear it, I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to promote it. I wear anything and everything that I have in my collection, and I really just infuse so much love and joy. But I just wanted to kind of share with you what happens in the creative process. And when you support local artisans, it's not the finished product, because that finished product is a process of our imagination, of our conceptualizing and visualizing the piece, and also getting the resources to do that, which is time consuming. And I'm not even doing any type of like, the silver work. I mean, the artists that do that, that's a whole other level. And I think we just really need to respect and honor them. And you could do it as a craft, but when people are looking at me and saying, "Oh, I could do that too," it's like, well, it's not the same thing. You can't just create a jewelry business because you love jewelry. You have to have this passion and this inner knowing of creating art. So that's what you get when you get one of my pieces, and you get the goodness of feeling that you are supporting a single mom and her two boys, and supporting a passion. And in exchange, I'm giving you all my good juju energy that is infused in every single piece, because every piece has a story and a meaning beyond the aesthetics. So I am always thinking of how this piece could somehow shift or inspire the wearer's life. So just a peek in my studio, and I will keep you posted as to how this develops into, and got some ideas for the spring. But thank you so much for visiting me, and thank you for all of you who have supported me and bought a purchase, because this is what you're supporting. Peace and blessings, and visit me on christyfunk.com, and don't forget to subscribe. Love you.